The first time it happened, I thought someone had broken into my apartment because I woke up and knew, absolutely knew, there was someone standing beside my bed. I couldn't see them clearly, not at first. The room was dark except for the soft blue light from the street lamp leaking through the blinds, cutting the walls into long pale stripes. My eyes were open. I could see the dresser, the door, the chair in the corner with my jacket hanging off it. Everything looked normal, but something was wrong with the air in the room. It felt heavier somehow, like the pressure had dropped or like the room had filled with invisible water. I tried to move my arm to reach for my phone on the nightstand, but nothing happened. My body didn't respond. At first, I thought I was just groggy, still waking up, but when I tried again, harder, I realized my chest was barely moving and my fingers might as well have been carved from stone. That was when I heard the breathing. It wasn't mine. Mine was shallow and strained. This breathing was slower, deeper, almost curious, like someone leaning close just to listen to me struggle. I tried to turn my head, but it wouldn't move. My eyes shifted instead, sliding toward the side of the bed. At the edge of the mattress, something darker than the darkness stood there. I couldn't make out a face, just a shape that seemed taller than a person should be when standing that close to the ceiling. It leaned slightly toward me. The breathing stopped, and in the silence I felt the unmistakable sensation of something watching me wake up. Then suddenly my arm jerked. My lungs filled all at once, like someone had lifted a weight off my chest, and the room snapped back to normal. The corner was empty. The air felt ordinary again. I sat up so fast the sheets twisted around my legs. I turned on the lamp and checked the entire room, even the closet and the bathroom, half expecting someone to be hiding there. But there was no one, just my apartment exactly the way I left it. I told myself it was sleep paralysis. I'd heard about it before. Your mind wakes up before your body. Your brain fills the room with hallucinations because it's still dreaming. People see shadows, figures in the room, pressure on the chest, breathing, whispers. One article even explained why the hallucinations often feel like intruders or demons. Apparently, the brain's fear center activates while the dreaming part is still running, so your mind fills the room with something threatening to explain why you can't move. Reading that helped. It made everything sound mechanical, predictable, almost boring. For a while, I believed that explanation completely. The episodes continued maybe once every 2 weeks, always the same pattern. I'd wake up unable to move, the air would feel heavier, and the presence would be somewhere in the room. Sometimes near the door, sometimes beside the bed. Once it was standing in the corner, watching me. I never saw details, just a shape darker than the room itself. But every time I woke fully, it was gone. The strange thing was the breathing. It always sounded curious rather than threatening, like whoever it belonged to wasn't there to hurt me, just to observe. After a couple months, I stopped panicking when it happened. I would lie there and wait for the paralysis to pass. Sometimes I even tried to study the shape the same way it seemed to study me. And slowly, I started noticing patterns. The figure never moved quickly. If it changed position, it did so slowly between blinks, like the room had been rearranged while I wasn't looking. It never touched me, it never spoke, but it always faced me, always watching.
I began to suspect my brain had created a recurring character, the way dreams sometimes repeat the same locations or people. Except this didn't feel like a dream. It felt like someone quietly visiting the same place every night, unsure if they were allowed to be there. Then one night, something changed. I woke up paralyzed again, but the room looked slightly brighter than usual. The streetlight outside must have been stronger that night, because pale gold light filled the room instead of blue. For the first time, I could see the shape more clearly. It was standing near the foot of the bed, tall, thin, the outline almost human, but not quite right, like the proportions had been stretched slightly. Its head tilted to one side, and for the first time I realized something strange about it. It wasn't looking down at me, it was looking around the room, slowly, carefully, like it was trying to understand where it was. Then its head turned toward me, and even though I still couldn't see a face, I had the overwhelming sensation that it had just realized I could see it too. The breathing stopped again, the silence deepened, and then my body unlocked and the figure vanished instantly, like someone switching off a projector. I sat up shaking more than I ever had before, because that moment hadn't felt like a hallucination noticing me. It felt like the opposite. It felt like something had been quietly visiting the room for a long time and had only just realized I was awake enough to notice it. After that night, the episodes started happening more often, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. The figure appeared in different places each time, but the behavior stayed the same. Slow movements, curious observation, never speaking, never touching me, just watching, until another change happened months later. I woke up one night already paralyzed again, but something was wrong immediately. The room felt crowded, the air was thicker than ever, almost suffocating. My eyes moved slowly across the room, and that was when I realized there wasn't just one shape anymore. There were 2. One stood near the door, the other beside the dresser, both facing the bed, both completely still. The breathing I heard before wasn't coming from one place anymore. It was coming from both sides of the room, calm, curious, listening, and as I lay there, unable to move, heart pounding in my ears, a quiet thought slipped into my mind that I couldn't shake afterward. Sleep paralysis explains seeing something in the room. It explains hearing breathing. It even explains feeling watched. But it doesn't explain why the thing watching you sometimes seems surprised that you can see it back. And it definitely doesn't explain why, over time, more of them start showing up. Because last night it happened again. I woke up frozen, staring at the ceiling. The air was heavy, the room was silent, and when my eyes finally shifted toward the foot of the bed, 3 shapes were standing there now, perfectly still, perfectly quiet, watching me wake up. And for the first time since this started, I had the strange creeping feeling that they weren't trying to scare me at all. They were just waiting patiently for the moment when I could move again. Because every time I wake up, they disappear instantly, almost like they're afraid of being caught here, almost like wherever they come from, they're not supposed to be in this room when I'm fully awake. And lately, When the paralysis finally breaks and I sit up in the dark apartment alone, the strangest part isn't the silence. It's the faint feeling that the room has just become empty again.